Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video I'm going to be unboxing another box by the Grinning Gargoyle. This is the Fantasy Paint Starter Set. Is it? Is it? Haven't we done that one? No, it's not. They've done a new box. It's the Fantasy Paint Core Set. So it's pretty much going to be the same as the last video. So if you've watched that, there's not that much more to add. So really it's just a video to let you know that they've brought out another paint set. And you know, guys, it's Army Painter paint, so I'm a massive fan of that already. I'm a huge fan of the paint sets that they do that are aimed at specific games. Like this is the Zombicide Invader. This is how I got started. Without it, I don't think I really have known where to start or which paints to pick up, but I think it would have been too overwhelming. So I really like these sort of snipe shot paint sets to aim specifically at a game to help new people get started. Now, in my opinion, that's what the Grinning Gargoyle have done with their fantasy paint starter set. This was aimed to get you up and running in the fantasy painting world, and then they've just carried on that series with the core set. So again, I think you could kind of pick up either, but the starter sets, you know, it's aimed at, you know, the clues in the name, isn't it? Really, it's a starter set. It's where you probably want to start. And then the core set just seems like a bit of a generic name because they've got to call it something, but it's got a whole bunch of core paints, I guess, that you need, but so does the starter set. So let's have a look. Let's have a look what's inside. But yeah, there's not going to be that much to show you other than it's a bunch of colours. So you've got my, hopefully you've seen before, and if you've not seen one of my reviews on the Army Painter paints, just check them out and you'll see I'm a big fan, and these are Army Painter paints, so there's not much more to say there. The one thing I did want to mention about the box, I should mention there will be a giveaway, just stay tuned, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But one thing I wanted to mention is this is the starter set, and this is the new core set, and there is no overlay between the colours. I think that's absolutely fantastic, so you're getting completely different paints. Now, when I reviewed the starter set, I mentioned there was a lack of dark grey, and there was no dark wash. That was basically the only two things I sort of frowned upon. Dark grey you can get around very easily by mixing black and white. It just means mixing, and it's not difficult. But the new set, hello dark grey, hello dark tone. Oh, and I mentioned that it was missing a desert yellow. They were the three colours I think you use quite a lot of when you're painting fantasy, and they were missing. You can make both of these very, very easily. Black and white will get you this, and brown and yellow will get you something around this colour. Can't make dark tone very easily though, or I wouldn't advise it to a beginner. So it's nice they've covered that. And that's it, there's no overlay. It does say by popular demand, we have put together another great paint set. I just feel like, did they see my review? And I mentioned that Desert Yellow, Dark Tone, and Necromancer Cloak were all missing, and boom, they're in here. You're gaining a copper, that's fantastic. Then you've got a really, really good range. You've got gold, a dark silver, copper, and a light silver, fantastic. Then they've expanded the flesh tones, which is really good. I've only just picked up tan flesh myself, very, very useful. An alternate brown is always going to come in handy. There's lots of fantasy characters with multiple different sort of bags, rucksacks, belts. So it's really, really actually quite handy to have multiple browns. Then with the grey sort of complete, you can have black down to Necromancer Cloak. Then you can splash in Dungeon Grey and then Ash Grey. So you could highlight up it black, essentially. You can go from black all the way down to the brightish ash grey, and anywhere in between. So it gives you that sort of range. And then it's the same with the greens. You've got a nice 4 range now with this set included. It basically works. The blues very, very similar. You've got crystal blue to highlight deep blue. They've just put, this was a very, very poppy, very harsh contrast, which does work well, especially as a beginner. But now you can step between them. You can highlight them up slightly different and get it looking more realistic. So I just think they've really, really complemented their original set. And I don't think, we can pop it open by all means. We'll have a look what's in it, because I'm going to title the video an unboxing. It just really isn't much to unbox. As normal, I guess if you've not seen this before, you get a little Army Painter. What is this? This is all of their supplies, I guess, or a big range of their supplies, which is quite handy because as a new painter, you don't even know what brushes they do, and I do like the Army Painter brushes, so they're a nice place to start. Then this is surprisingly good, this free please take one. There's a few painting guides, and I've read it, and I've mentioned this a few times in the videos. There's some stuff in here I didn't know, so fair play, it's nice to have that included. And then you get a hobby brush, which is a nice place to start with. You'll probably move up quite quickly, but it's better than a cheap 10 cents brush. I think it'll hold the tip a little bit better, and you'll be able to get some practicing and see what you're doing. And then, as normal, it's the army painted dropper bottles, which I do like. They take so much shaking, you're going to get sore wrists. But if you can get through that, I just like that they don't dry up and you just get out a teeny tiny amount that you need. So yeah, the set, it's got one metallic and it's got, oh no, sorry, it's got 2 metallics and 2 washers, and then a whole bunch of war paints, which, yeah, go and pause it on the picture of the colours if you'd like to see the specific colours. But yeah, it's a very, very complimentary set to the original one there. So back to the competition. It's not really a competition, it's a giveaway. So once again, Grinning Gargoyle have given a set to give away. So congratulations to Ian, who won the last set, and that should be with him now. This is going to be exactly the same. It's open to those 5 countries, the UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, France, if I recall correctly. So it's, apologies if you're not in those countries. They're just the only places they can ship to. But if you're with them, there'll be a link in the description below, so you can enter that. It'll be on Gleam again, so it's fairly straightforward. Click a few links, that sort of jobby. Come and check out the channel, check out what the Grinning Gargoyle have to offer on Amazon. That's it, guys. Hopefully that was useful. Bear with me if I might cut out. What was I saying? Hopefully that was useful. Thank you all ever so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. This is the Grinning Gargoyle. And without it, I wouldn't really know when to start. Where to start, when to start. Can't even speak.